What's up, everybody? This is Justin Flinner coming to you live from Northern Virginia with the Justin Flinner podcast by My Metro Medicine. This past weekend, we did our Ask the Expert interview with Melinda Moore, health and fitness extraordinaire coming out of Northern Virginia. She sat with us for over an hour answering questions about how to live a healthy lifestyle, what kind of things you need to do when it comes to health and fitness and exercise and all of those great things, and maintaining your goals and eating and sleeping and even owning dogs and et cetera, et cetera. She's a great teacher. She's a great role model. She's a great person to follow, and she's a fantastic instructor. So we hope you enjoy this interview, and we look forward to next month. So get on social media and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere we are, to see who next month's guest is going to be on Ask the Expert. So enjoy this podcast. We'll see you next time. Hi everyone, I'm back, and this time January's interview is with the Melinda Moore, my old colleague, friend, you name it. Yep. We've known each other for how many years? It's been a while.
Yeah, well,
10 years, more than 10 years, right?
For sure, because it's 6, going on over 10 plus right now.
Something like that. So yeah, it's been a while. We were working together for like 5-6 years, something like that, and then worlds changed.
Yeah.
For those of you out there who know it, you know us, then you know what happened. But nothing bad. Our lives changed for the better. We're all in
different paths.
Different paths where we need to be.
Crossroads came up. Crossroads were taken. Yeah,
so,
it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
So for those of you out there who do not know Melinda Moore, why don't you say a couple things about yourself?
30 plus years in the industry, part by default, just because I like fitness. Education, and then just couldn't get away from it. Tried a couple different things over the years, but this was always something that was either a part-time or a full-time gig. Commercial fitness, private fitness, studio, ladies only, boutique fitness. So it's there's always been something that I've been into for me, and it started for me. For my fitness and my love of sports, and not even competitiveness, but just being active. So it's gotten me here. It's taken me here. I think as many genres as there are in music, there are in fitness, and I've touched into all of them, for better or for worse.
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the coolest, is because you've done it for so long. You've seen the transition and the styles and the clothing and everything.
The ones you keep, the ones you're loyal to, and the ones you never want to see again. Yeah.
You probably have drawers full of all the things.
Well, there's drawers that go away, but you know what? I feel like I shouldn't have gotten rid of some of that stuff, because it comes back even if, for Halloween.
Right.
But
leg
warmers, thongs, and headbands.
People still wear those things.
Well, it's coming back. It's coming back. You know what they say about fashion? Yeah, fashion and fitness, I think, make full circles. Hopefully, not everything in fitness will come back, but fashion, I think we might get away with. But yeah, it's fitness. You know it just like I do. It's things come and go, and depending on where you are and what I don't know, the people that are around you, you're lucky or unlucky to get some fads.
That's right.
That stick around longer than others.
And
So.
you've done a number of also like competitions, marathons, triathlons. I mean, that stuff is amazing to me.
Yeah, but it's so different. I don't know if I think it's just, I think I'm one of those people that you say that I have my hands in a lot of different things, but I'm not awesome at anything. So
Right.
I like to try. I'm not afraid to try different things. In school, played sports, like I said. When I got old enough to get a job, that was one of the first jobs that I had, was in Spa Lady. And I was there. I went in for their receptionist. That position was filled. It had been filled, so they said, well, how about being an instructor? So that's how it started. Sheer chance. I mean, it was snow day, needed a job, part-time summer job. It just rolled into that. So that's when the training that they put me through, I thought, this is something that I want to do. So that's how the education pattern started.
So the first class you taught was what?
The first class I taught was called Super Slim. At Spa Lady.
Spa Lady.
Yeah.
Super
Now,
Slim
so
at Spa Lady.
but here was the best part about that, was that I got to make my own music. So I would get the 45s, and make the cassette tapes. So I had to have two
I
cassette
thought you meant
players.
like you were singing.
Oh, no. Well, no. I mean, even though people
Okay.
that know me now know that
So-
that's not something that you would want me to do ever.
So so you got the 45.
Yeah. So I had to listen to them, make sure they would match with my warm up, and then the
All right.
transition to that. So early age,
No
DJ.
120
Oh, yeah.
BPM or whatever.
Nah, it was, well, I would kind of have to get up and
BPM,
dance
but
to it to see if it would
beats.
work to like the high kicks
Yeah.
and the knees. So, and then the down on the floor doing the crunches to make sure that music was good, and then the cool
I
down.
see.
So I had some
Nice.
really nice cassette tapes. Really nice cassette
Uh-huh.
tapes.
Uh-huh.
Never, I mean, then I kind of stayed old school when it started. I don't think I brought any to the fun when we were together. I mean, I don't think I had any of the cassettes.
I need to get a hold of one.
I mean,
of
I
these
was
for
working
you
on
guys.
it. Then it was like some of the CDs, but yeah. So
You should like do an old school class, like one time.
listen,
retro.
you know
retro.
what? I've got CDs that we used in super classes.
Oh, really?
I do. I have CDs that we used in super classes that are interesting when I let you guys pick your own music.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what you were thinking listening to it. Like, what the? All right.
Yeah, so that was first.
Sorry.
That was early experience, and then it somehow aerobic competitions presented themselves. So I did a mixed double competition there with Reebok,
Okay.
which again you look back at it now and you think, what the heck were we thinking when we did those? It was 3 minutes of like high kicks. You know, I mean, the most dangerous things that you could have someone do in a class is what we did. And we worked really hard at
Did
it.
anybody get injured?
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I
how could
thought you were
you
going to
not?
say the opposite.
Oh, how could you not? I mean,
We're
it
too
was
careful now.
No, yeah, oh, yeah, we're way too careful now. But yeah, it was, yeah, I had a great partner who was a dancer, who came from a dance background. So it was, you know, the training that we did was I mean, it was what we did at work. So it was something, I mean, I was there anyway, teaching classes and that, you know, and in my 20s. But it was in addition to, so looking back, I mean, what I thought of my job, like people go to work their 9-to-5 job and then they go work out, or then they go, if they're a teacher, you know, an exercise coach, they would go and coach after their work. Well, having a 9-to-5 job as a coach or as an instructor, and then tagging on your hobby or your exercise after makes for a long day. Yeah, you know, I mean, but eventually it just kind of was like, well, I got this to do for work, which is exercise, and then I have this to do, which is for fun, which is exercise, and then I have this to do where I'm going to show someone, which is exercise. So there's no downtime with that at that point. But that was fun. So again, we did well, but not fantastic.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't something that you know, trampolined us onto greater things.
There's like
Put it aside and move on.
exactly one of the,
You know.
So there's like a fitness competition.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So
And-
that was, yeah. So it was singles, mixed doubles, and then, you know, could do trios.
Wow.
And it was big. I mean, it's, you know, looking back, they still have.
Are they still doing these kind of things?
No, because it kind of morphed into, now it's much more of the fitness, you know, how they have, I don't know if,
It's
the,
like
if
really
the guys
large
have
group
it.
classes. I mean, I know those kind of
Yeah,
things.
yeah. So they, I mean, I think those, a lot of the competitors that did make their name in that now have DVDs or their own
Exactly,
workouts, you know, that they did. So there was, I mean, the big group of people, those are the ones that you see now. And I think maybe eventually they will probably be phasing themselves out because we're all getting to that age. But they're presenting at conferences, you know, so that was a big deal to see those people that in my generation that you competed against or watched compete, that were really strong. I mean, they're really strong athletes, and they're just, I mean, they're very fit people anyway. So it's not just dance. It's really putting your body through, you know, the 1-hour push-ups and the kicks, and just not endurance. It's 3 minutes of just power and anaerobic force.
Okay.
You know, in these competitions, and they rocked it. It was awesome to watch them. The competition started to get a little crazy when they were doing acrobatic moves within the couple minutes, and then then you got gymnast, or you know, like a power lifter that could catch this gymnast that was throwing herself through the air, and you know, catch. So then it kind of, you know, like most things that we do in fitness, it's like we take one piece of equipment, we're like, we're going to keep this super simple. It's going to be effective. We're going to get to it. It's up, up, down, down. Great. Put it to music. Awesome. Now we're going to build these benches bigger. Now it's going to be hop, then we're going to, that's not enough. It can't be up, up, down, down. People are getting bored with that. We are going to start with a trampoline and get on that board. And then we're going to do a spin in the air and see if we can do that on 2 steps.
And then throw dumbbells.
Yes. Right. And then we're going to add that. Then it's going to be partner stepping. And then when someone gets hurt, we're going to say, oh, we should bring that back again.
Yeah, bring it
so
back.
Now we're back to the platform where it's like, this is the greatest thing that was ever. This is the greatest thing ever. All you need to do is have 2 inches off the ground, and you're going to get it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, fitness, right? Like everything else.
Yeah, we take it up a level, but then eventually we got to bring it back down.
Well, we do, and I tell people when I'm training them to coach or to teach, it's like you can only do so much with the equipment to stay safe. So there's always that group of people that are more inclined to do, lock knee exercises or flat back exercises, and you got to a point where you had to say, no, let's not do flat back. Don't lock your knees, please. Always keep the joints soft for your protection. But it's not a bad thing. It's just that the average person can't sustain that for their body, right? So we have to teach to the bigger groups. So again, you see that where now there's, it is correct. Go ahead and lock your knees when you're doing a certain move. Well, it is, but don't forget about the person that shouldn't lock their knees. So, we go through those phases again. Who are we teaching to? Are we teaching to the person that can do it, that's at that high level, and we're trying to push them to their point? Or should we still say, there's a small group here that can, there's a small group that shouldn't, and then there's that middle group that maybe could if they got strong enough? So...
Yeah, I mean, that's an important thing. Like for those of you who regularly attend classes, whether they're with Melinda or they're with somebody else outside, is that we really design the class based off of the least experienced person. So if you think like, well, the class isn't hard enough for me, well, we have to take into consideration that individual or those individuals and then design it from there. So that's why, advanced classes and then one-on-ones are fantastic.
Yeah, and it's tough when you go to a boutique or a specialized studio, if that's what you're going for. If you're going for, boxing and you're going to a boxing gym, you're going to get boxing. So I'm going to that gym to say, I want to box. I want to hit a bag. I want to hit something. But if you come to a multi-purpose studio or a fitness center, that you have to offer 50 classes a week to varying levels of people. Right. Some people could be brand new to exercise. Some people could, be a boxer in another life. But how can I make this fun and safe for everybody?
Yeah, exactly.
And as an instructor, you kind of have to know those, like we did. Here's a progression. Here, if you want to take this to the next step, here's what you can do. But also here, if this move doesn't work for you, here's something else to do. Right. So, that was one thing that I struggled, not really struggled with, but was tried to be very aware of it when scheduling classes, that we didn't put levels on things. So as an instructor or coach, I would hold you guys more responsible for, you need to be able to teach to the entire group no matter who walks into your class, as opposed to saying, sorry, Justin, you're not quite at this level, so this class isn't for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You
should be able to walk in any door and feel comfortable.
Right. And the instructor should be qualified or educated enough to say, I got you.
Right.
So let me give you some lost my word, options. Let me give you some options for this instead of this. Okay. So don't leave because you can't do that. I've got options for you. There's a million ways we can do this. Yeah. And I think that helps people return to those classes or return to workouts. Like I can't do, I see someone doing a 20-pound bicep curl. I'll never do a 20-pound bicep curl. So I'm not going to go to that class because I'm too embarrassed to do a 5-pound bicep curl. Why are you afraid? Come into the class, make it work for you. Don't get discouraged because you're not at the level of the one person that caught your eye when you first walked in there. And again, it's kind of on as instructors, in our wheelhouse to say, let's make that work for everybody. Right. And be happy to give options and try not to, you don't have to give them 100% of your attention because they're not a proficient exerciser in that whatever they're doing right now, but also not give the person that's there all the time, that has gone from that's now lifting 50 pounds or whatever they're doing, all your attention because they're the star of the class. That's right. So you have to kind of spread it out because that's what's going to motivate people.
Exactly, it is. It's what's going to motivate people, and I agree. So let's see if we have anything coming in yet. We're just getting started, so there's a couple people tuning in. It looks like. But no comments yet. We got
Okay.
a like already. But so I have a few questions for Melinda, and this is a reminder for all of you out there. If you have any questions, fitness, health related, whatnot, ask the expert right here, Melinda Moore. She's here. So send them to us. Send a comment. We'll get it to her now. If you miss us live, no problem. You can email me, and I'll put all the information up also on YouTube, and it'll be a podcast and stuff. So you'll still be able to reach out to Melinda directly. So one of the questions I have, I think you've already answered, which is what is one of the first memories of doing something fitness related? You said that was at the
at Spa Lady.
Spa.
Yeah.
I said Slim Lady. Slim Lady
No,
at Spa.
it was Spa Lady. The slim. I think it was the slim workout or the slim. Slim Lady.
Slim Lady at Spa Fit. Yes, sorry. All right. I'm sorry, Spa Lady. I didn't mean that. I'm just mixing my. All right. Next question. Moving on. What's one of the most rewarding experiences during your time in this career?
So that's a tricky one because if I were to go right now for a personal reward was doing the Ironman.
That's during a whole
Yeah.
time. It can be personal, it can be whichever.
Yeah, so that was a big deal for me just because that was out of my comfort zone.
So, what is an Ironman?
So I've been doing, for myself, I started probably, I think 6 or 7 years ago doing triathlon. So it's a swim, bike, run. And I started, again, it was one of those by chance, like, I was running with a group of friends and we should start biking. So, as a spin instructor, and I've been on bikes before, we should do one of those races. Well, we have to figure out how to swim. Okay, that's cool. I can swim. I've been in the pool before. We put it together. We'll do a super mini one that lasts about 30 minutes. That was awesome. We can do that. We should do a bigger one. So we'll do one that lasts an hour. We did this. We survived. This is awesome. I really like this. Then we started doing it. Then a year later, you call yourselves a triathlete. Must go bigger. Must go faster. How do we do this? Cool, we can do this because I'm a runner. Right? The running is the last thing. The running is the toughest thing. I'm not a runner anymore. I can't drown in the pool. What if I fall off my bike? This sport is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, but I'm not going to give up yet. So 6 years later, I had done a couple things here and there, half marathons for all of this, and I had done the first marathon before I got into triathlon, and I said, okay, that's something that I'll never do again. Did Marine Corps Marathon. I thought, I'm not sure, with a colleague of ours, Abby, and her husband wanted to do that, and I said, sure, why not? 26 miles, we can do it. A year later, Abby and Mark had deferred, and I was going to show up by myself. 2 other friends from the fitness center that are runners, lifelong runners, strong, fast runners, said, we'll run with you, Melinda. And I said, okay, great. So we ran the first 13 together before they said, okay. I said, listen, you guys, just go on, and I'll finish on my own. And they just took off. Finished that, and I said, okay, that's something that I choose never to do again. I'll do everything less than 26, but 26 I think is no more fun, unless I ever do an Ironman. Fast forward 6 years. So I'm doing an Ironman. Oh, that means I have to run 26 miles again. Yeah, so again, when I finished that, I was really, really very proud of myself. But once again, I said, yeah, so everything was good until the 26-mile run. So I don't ever want to do that one again. So it was, but that was a huge thing for me personally because it was just, I did it well. I was strong. I did my training, which was, I think, the biggest part, sticking to the training, not just knowing as a person that's been in fitness forever, you can do this, you got this. Don't worry about the training. It'll happen. So it does require a lot of training and just like the mental toughness, which was what I struggled with the most. So for me personally, for something that I did from beginning to end, I would say it was the Ironman. That was
So
big.
the total distance that you went from start to finish was how much for the
Typically, it's 140.
140
miles total. Oh! But the particular race that I chose, logistically,
wow!
Logistically, the bike they had to tack on 4 extra miles to get you back. So the one that I did was 144 miles.
Oh, okay.
Because 140 wasn't enough.
Yeah, exactly. I need 4 more.
Listen, we just want to prove to you that you can do those extra 4 miles. So so it was in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it was in September, and it was
from one end of the state to the other.
Yeah. Well, actually, we crossed into Georgia.
Oh, you did?
Yes, we did.
Wow.
So it was part of the bike was in Georgia.
Okay.
Because you have to come up with 100 and 14 miles
Yeah.
on a bike. So, but it really was good. I mean, the running was the worst, and that's what I'm struggling with now. But it was something, for me, kind of like going on. Yeah, I've been in fitness. I can do this. Back to that statement where I've got my hands in a lot of things, but I've never really been like uber successful in one. But I do enough to get me by.
Exactly.
So that was one of those things where I thought, I'm not going to hurt myself. It's important as I get older. It's a lot of miles.
That is a lot
for
of miles.
safety, I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
do it. Just, I mean, for your own safety.
Yeah.
You could get hurt being out there for that long. It's 15 hours for me. It's 15 hours of exercise straight. So taking the nutrition and the hydration and everything else that could go wrong, that's, and the best part was my recovery was good. So I didn't have any lasting effects. So I thought that was a positive experience.
Yeah, a lot of people are really suffering afterwards.
Yeah. So I put that back to my cross training and my years in fitness and taking care of my body.
That's fantastic.
But it's, as far as my professional career, it's always great when people can come back and say that there's something that keeps me bringing me back to you, the way you teach, the way you are. And that always makes me feel good. It's not one person, but it's just, someone that says, I don't like exercise, or I didn't think I'd like exercise, or I'm not good at this, but you made me feel very comfortable. And that's something,
that's really gratifying to hear from people.
Yeah. As an instructor or coach, it is, because that's, I mean, I don't have, the information out there is the same. We all do the squats the same. Right, so you can tell someone to do a squat, and I can tell someone to do a squat. We're not creating the wheel. We're not reinventing anything, but it's it's the way we give it to people that sinks in, or that benefits them the most, that helps them the most. So it's whatever I am able to give to someone that gets them to their end result. That's awesome. It is gratifying.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that know from coming to your classes, because your classes are always cool, always. I'm just sitting in a room
listen, it's
years ago.
It's my music, it's my DJ
it's the music. Get your 45. All right. We'll do it. The next month will be about a rapper. But I don't know. I'll find one, but I won't do that again.
Yeah.
So, what goals do you have for the future regarding your own health and wellness? You've come a long way. You've been doing it for a long time. You've achieved so much. So, I mean, you got a lot of motivation to keep going and doing things. So ultimately, like, what's your main focal point?
To stay healthy now. I think as I've gone through this and the years of being in fitness, I think it benefits me the most, my health. And that was kind of a byproduct of what I did. I never did it thinking when I was 16, I'm going to be healthy when I'm 50, right? If I just keep doing this. That's not what you went in it for. I mean, when I was competing, it wasn't like, because I'm going to be healthy at the end of this. I mean, you do it for the fun of it, the yay, you won, or you completed it. But now I think I see every time I do something, or an event or a race, and I think, my recovery, how do I feel? I get people asking, that's an awful lot. And I think, it is an awful lot, but not really. I mean, I feel good. I'm still going to say, I don't feel good. I'm not going to do it. I don't push myself to that level. And I'm just, it's Monday. I don't need to do this. That just doesn't happen anymore. I do it because it makes me feel good. But I think it also, I know what I'm like when I don't do it. I'm a little grumpy. I may be a little hard to be around. But I know.
I can't attest to that.
I mean, I might say things that are nice. You might not be able to understand words that come out of my mouth.
Exactly.
But I think it's just, I know what my body is. So I know what my body does. I know what my body needs. And I know that kind of sounds cliche, but I really do. I mean, I know that, like, I start to get achy. Right.
But that's like the most important thing that people need to first achieve, is to become aware of their body.
I think
because
so.
We can only teach to a certain point, but if the person isn't able to absorb what you're teaching them and they can't understand why, then that's okay, because we're going to be by their side.
Yeah.
However, you don't want them to leave whatever class or session and be like, now you're at risk. But when you're with me, you're not at risk anymore. So just stay with me all the time.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but that's for both of what we do. I mean, when you're teaching and coaching, and when you're doing your practice here, I mean, it's not. I think you probably learned earlier on than I did, with what you're doing. But like for me, again, I did it for selfish reasons, to stay in shape when I was younger or whatever it was that I was doing. But you get to a point, I think the first time that I started to see people or hear people say, I feel so much better, thanks so much for taking, for teaching, or, I'll be sad to see you go if I when you go to school or when you leave, and you're kind of like, man, wow, that's super cool. Because what I do, I'm doing this because I love doing it. I'm doing it because I'm good at it. I'm good at it because I love it, because I'm passionate about it, but I'm gonna keep doing it. It wasn't ever just a job. Like, well, I'll teach here a little bit for a job. Oh, or I'll go and do this for a job or that for a job. I mean, I knew that I had to do this for my sanity, but because I enjoyed the way I felt, and I enjoyed the way I saw people leave or feel when they were working out with me. So I knew that I had to be doing that at some point on some level during my life. But it's the same thing. When people leave a class or a workout, or when you're in the middle of a workout and you just see like the joy and the happiness or the pain, whatever whatever you guys want to call it.
Yeah, exactly.
I call it joy and happiness.
It feels good.
I mean, intense pain / joy, happiness. It's just like, man, there's no way I could walk away from this. There really isn't. And then when you do have to walk away for whatever reason on any level, it's really sad. When you're like, when people say, and it's like everybody's replaceable, and you'll find something different. You'll find something to replace what it is. But you do miss the group that you've established, or the group that has been your go-to group for whatever that is, for that class, or that you see these people working out, even if they didn't. You didn't coach them, or you didn't have them in class, but you saw them working out, and then you don't see them anymore. And you're like, you could have done one thing.
Like a community that you build with the people. Yeah. I mean, you get like your little your crew. Yeah, kind of. You do. The people the regulars of the classes and whatnot, and then they just. How was class today? They start to ask about it, and they miss it when they're not there. And then when they are there, they fight to get in, which we know is sometimes a pretty tough fight. So I don't want to be between those people. It's like, fine,
I'm going to hide until
both
that
of you
starts.
come in, please. In the door. Yeah. In the door.
But yeah, I mean,
we're all friends here.
It is, and it's just. I mean, there's something it's a different level. And I think people can see that. And I know that people have made comments to me. And it wasn't that you're the best instructor ever at this or that. But I think the one thing that I had several people say over the years was just, it's so much fun to come into your class because I can see that you're so passionate about this. Yeah. I mean, forget it. I might have been the worst step teacher ever, or the worst whatever I was doing at that particular form might have been awful. But at least they saw something. They saw that I was that I was really enthusiastic about what I was doing, and I took care to make sure that you guys had a safe experience in the class. It might have turned some people off. Like, I wanted it to be so much harder, but she was so much worried. She was so worried about the way I did my squats, and who cares about my squats? I wanted to do something tougher. But then in the end, it was like, but you got to respect that, because I knew how to do a squat, or I knew how to do this heavier, so I just did it. But everyone in the class had the same experience, hopefully. No one left injured. I think I can say that no one ever actually got injured in my class, I think I can say that going forward. I hope so.
You can send your comments in now. Now's your chance.
Is there anyone else that
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Like, really came crashing down off of something? Yeah, hopefully no comments came in. Look, it's full.
My corner of my eye is.
We got a couple of those mad faces, right?
I know, right? Melinda. No. So, I mean, from working together with you, and there's other people out there. Tons of people have worked together with you in the past and still do now. Yeah. I mean, aside from your fantastic skills, your background, and your great leadership skills as well, I mean, the one thing that stood out above all, and everyone else can probably attest to this, is just like you said, your passion. Your passion for it pulled people into the classes, and it still does, because it's not a selfish reason that you're doing it. You're doing it because you love it, number one, because it does something for yourself and other people. and you can witness the transition in their lives, and they can tell you about it. And it's no hold bar.
Yeah.
You just do it. They love it. They keep coming back, and that's essentially what it is all about. I mean, fitness is not about you have to get to the next level. You have to be able to lift a 20-pound dumbbell. You find your groove and you stay in it, but eventually you have to be open to other things.
Yeah, for sure.
There's got to be some flexibility, like all the different areas of fitness, strength, flexibility,
Absolutely.
But the passion above everything else is the one thing that I say, and other people probably do too, is the biggest attribute for you.
But I thank you, and I think it's true what you say about being open-minded. Because when we worked together, you came from a different. You brought something. What you brought with your passion was something that we didn't have, and that was the first thing that we talked about when we met.
Right.
I came from the traditional, this is what happens in a gym kind of thing, and everything that happens in a gym, I've had my hands in at some point. And I remember when Bob and I were chatting about, Justin's coming on board, and I said, well, what does he bring? What does he bring? And he just listed this thing, and I was like, man, finally, the one thing that and I hadn't met you, I hadn't even spoken to you. The one thing that we don't have is any kind of martial arts, any kind of holistic, and you weren't really into the holistic yet. I mean, like visibly, that wasn't what was on, your resume, but it was just like, yeah, okay. So now we're getting the martial arts side of this, and this is going to be really cool. And you did bring a whole different, feeling to the fitness center at that time. Right, because you could do the traditional stuff. Right. You brought that with you, the personal training and the kickboxing and the what the classes.
But those things, if I may, is some of those classes that I taught later on was not something I ever thought that I would do.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, in the past.
No, I know.
Before I started, but because of this lady right here, she didn't force me to do it, but she opened the door and she said, how can you utilize what you are uniquely skilled at and adapt it to the environment that, ultimately you're working in, but to the population that wants to come and see you. And somehow I was able to do that. Sadly, it came after the passing of an individual, but a man who I really respected, James, I miss him dearly. But at that moment, it was like, okay, who can step up to this? No one could step up to his level, but at that moment, it was like, okay, I can do this, and I'm going to figure out how. And I was only able to do that by you, and of course, James falling in his footsteps.
But I knew you had it, and I was super excited to get you there. To encourage you, because it was not, I could see that you had it. It was, and the one thing I think, something that I hope everyone that teaches or coaches or wants to get into this field, whenever I work with people or train people in different formats or just, meet people for the first time, you can shadow, you can take anything you want from me. You can shadow me till the sun goes down. Take as many classes as you want. But I do not want another clone of me walking around. I don't want you to be that person.
Exactly.
I don't want you to be me. I don't want you to walk into a room and say, listen, just so to give everyone peace of mind, I am Melinda. I do everything she does. I use her. That's horrible. That's, we don't need another me. For sure. For sure. And I hope there's not another me anywhere.
Doppelganger. Yeah, exactly. You posted a picture of Melinda.
But take whatever you feel is going to work for you from who I am and what I do. And that's what you did. You, again, the circumstances couldn't have been, any worse than they are when you needed to come into that. But it wasn't, you were showing who you are.
Yeah, I was able to fill somebody's shoes.
Yeah, but it wasn't
there.
Yeah, and to be, for lack of, just to as what it is, we wanted to put in the same type of format. Because I could have said, Justin, come up with anything you want, I don't care. But just, I need that spot filled. I want that hour filled with whatever. I don't care, Justin, go, do. But it was, no, let's try to stay as close as we can to what we knew worked and what we're missing now.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's what you are passionate about too. That's you, this is you. Yeah. This is you. Now this is your time to go in there and do it. And let me know how I can help, but I'm not, it's on you.
It was a tough transition, but not because I wasn't sure what to do.
Right.
But I wanted to make people happy.
I know.
But the only way later on learning was to just figure out what worked best for me.
And go in there with your strengths, to showcase your strengths. And I think that's the key, is that you can say, I learned from someone, I trained with someone, but you know, when you walk into that room, or when you walk into that gym, or that training client, they're looking to you. I'm looking to you to instruct me.
Right.
All right. I'm not, as a lifelong career, being in health and fitness, I'm a little tweaky. I would never say anything to someone, but for me, I joke and I say the warm up, makes it or breaks it for me. If I go in and the music sucks and I'm taking a class, I'm like, oh God, this is going to be so awful. And you could be the greatest, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to listen to this music the whole class. I don't know if I'm going to make this. This is going to be awful. But it's the same thing. So, it's you. It's your class. It's not, well, I'm taking over. I'm subbing for someone today, so pardon me, or this is my first time ever doing this. So, give me all your negative feedback when it's over. Oh my gosh. Go in there, rock it. This is your day. This is your time. You're trained. You're proficient in this. Show me. Present yourself and lead the class, because that's what people come for. The minute you ask someone, go ahead, tell me the worst. Go ahead, tell me. I can take it. What do people are going to do? They're going to like, well, I don't know, but if you really want to know, well, I've got some things. If you really want to, tell me. You can ask for feedback, but really, go in positive and present yourself the way it is, and you did it brilliantly. And as you saw, the classes were once again like busting through the doors.
Yeah.
Great way to finish the week on that Friday class.
Yeah.
And you amazed me.
No.
Oh yeah.
I amazed myself. I was like, who was that?
Holy moly, what just happened?
Who was that?
Wait,
where did
who's
he go?
in Studio A right now?
I know,
God,
right?
it's Justin. What? It's Justin? You got to go look at Justin's in Studio A.
It's not him. Look at the bandana.
Go check out what's in Studio A right now. Oh my God.
Right. Michael Jackson music. You remember? I know you do.
Holy moly, that was
Don't make me say names.
Fridays at noon. Bam.
So enough about us.
Yeah.
Let's do this. In just a couple sentences, what do the words health and wellness mean to you?
Exercise your entire body, your mind and your physical body. That's one thing that I've learned as I've gotten older as well. You have to be happy with what you do in fitness and in everything else. Mm-hmm. So health and fitness for me, it's the way you take care of yourself, not the classes that you're signed up for. It's not just about being in a gym. You have to find something that works for you, that takes care of your body.
Right. 24/7.
24/7.
Yeah.
So it's exercise comes and goes in fads, but you have to find something. I have to find something that is my go-to to keep me strong. And health and fitness, it's nutrition as well, mm-hmm. And it's your downtime, it's your recovery. I think now more than ever, you see there's yoga's becoming much more mainstream than what it was years ago.
Yes.
And you see it in big box gyms, you see it in fitness centers, and I, for the first time, because it doesn't conflict with anything, can take it on a regular basis, and it's made huge differences in me and my body. And now it's something that I really look forward to it. And before it was I could never take the classes, and I thought I need to do that high intensity stuff. I need to make sure that I'm sweating, and I need to make sure that I'm hurt when I'm done, and I can't move my arms when I'm done, or else it wasn't a good day. Yeah. I was that person too for many years, but it to have a little bit of everything is a better, healthy lifestyle. Exactly. And your fitness it truly is. Everything plays into it, and until something happens where you're not, like if you have good fitness habits, or you're just, when you're younger, you can eat anything. I love that. I used to say that too. You can eat anything you want because you're going to burn it off, or you're going to go and run for something. Well, things change. Things change over your life, and whether you're, 100% into fitness, 100% into nutrition, and you have to find a good combination of both. Mm-hmm. So for me, health and fitness is it's 100% mind, body, inside and outside.
That's great. So, what are some of the biggest influences on an individual's health and wellness, and outside of like diet and stuff like that? What are some of the biggest influences, and how do you yourself handle them?
I think the biggest on that lifestyle is stress and work.
Okay.
You know,
That's a big one.
Yeah, it is,
huge.
and when you're introducing fitness to someone, it's one of the first things they say. You know, they need to reduce their stress. You know, after I want to lose weight, I want to, you know, I need to get healthy. Stress, especially I mean, in corporate fitness. I mean, in any kind of fitness or in any kind of environment, the people that we deal with in our profession, they're coming to us to change something, reduce their stress, lose weight, you know, get in shape for something, train for a race. You know, most people don't just pop into fitness like I want to buy a red dress today. You know, and they go into a store and they're going to buy a red dress. Yeah. Oh, but then they've changed their mind. They want to buy a blue dress as well. So most of the time people come into see you or I for what we do respectively because they want to change something. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, with stress, I think it's the biggest thing, and it's a little sneaky.
So for you then, whenever you get stressed, if you ever do,
yeah, I do. I do.
So when you get stressed, so how do you handle that? What do you do?
I have a dog.
You have a dog.
I have
Teddy. A dog.
I have Teddy.
Teddy. Oh, Teddy. If I get a picture or something, maybe actually he's in the background of one of those photos.
He is. That's it. He photobombed me on the back of that picture.
It's like a bomb in the picture.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
All right. So.
I have a dog. So Teddy gets lots of walks, or cuddles, depending on what my stress is for that day.
Okay.
Again, you know, you're right. For me, because exercise is an outlet for most people that have stress. They go for a run, or they go to a spin class, or they go, you know, jump in the pool. All that for me, it's not just work, because it is, but it's part of my training. So that's something that I do. You know, I either run, bike, swim, or coach when I get up in the morning. One of those things.
I mean, outside of all the teaching and stuff like that, there's still the business aspect, and that can be stressful and whatnot. So Teddy is a good outlet.
Teddy, well, I mean, it is. Believe it or not, you know, he is. He's one of the things. You know, he's one of those things where we can. I mean, I've gone on angry walks. I've started angry walks. Like, I know you need a walk. You know, I know you need a walk, and not him, not angry at him, but just, you know, gosh, this day ran over, and I have to be somewhere else. But you need a walk. You need to be out. You need to go. And it's kind of one of those. We're just going to do a short one, and you know, you get all geared up, and you walk outside, and you know, before you know it, he's just kind of like bopping along, smelling things like the same thing he smelled this morning. Actually, what you're smelling is you. I mean, this is where we were, like, you know, 4 hours ago. We're here again, and you think that this particular leaf is the most exciting thing you've seen all day. And the first couple leaves that we stop at, I'm thinking, ooh, this was the same leaf. I could probably put something on here, and you'd think that was the greatest thing ever. And by the time we get to the fourth or fifth, I'm like, this is awesome. This is just, you know, I'm like, I know why you come out here, and you got nothing. And then you turn back and look at me, and we have our little things, and you know, I wear them around my waist, and you know, someone inevitably, you know, there's some older people up the street, and they get a kick out of saying, "Who's walking who? Is he walking you?" And I'm like, "No, you know it. He's walking me." I mean, it's the routine, but you know, and by the time it's over, I'm just a little more relaxed. I really am, and it's just, I mean, that's it. And then I go back and jump back into it again. But it's true. I guess that's how it is. You know, when if someone says I go swim, and it just like completely chills me out, and that does too. But I don't really say if I'm stressed, I need to go to the pool, or I need to get on the bike and ride. That's not what relaxes me, because it's also something that I use for an end result, a training purpose. But I'd have to say that, you know, it's Teddy. Oh. It really is. I mean, it's fun. Or any other dog that I see. But I have a Teddy, so.
It's a teddy bear, a teddy dog.
Yes, he is.
Okay. So let's shift the topic a little bit to some New Year's resolution things. And it's still in January and whatnot, and people are probably still working on goals and stuff. So what's some advice that you can give people that are just getting started, or that have moved into their goals and might be at that sort of flux point?
Right.
Should I keep going, or I'm too busy?
Right.
What's some advice?
Small goals. So set a series of small goals. I know at Orange Theory, we're just now kicking off the transformational challenge. So it's a weight loss challenge,
right.
And a lot of gyms, a lot of studios do it, a lot of personal trainers do it. It's the beginning of the year, right? So it's a great time to just say, let's wipe the slate clean. So this is an 8-week challenge, and we've done those before.
Right.
8 weeks is just is a good time because it takes a couple weeks, 3 weeks to 4 weeks to form a habit, right? So we want people to get to be encouraged. But for me, when I'm talking to someone, what I found is if you set a small goal for yourself instead of this huge goal, like I want to run a marathon in the summer. Well, we're in January. I mean, it's a long time to July or August, or whenever you have that. So how about a 5K, right? How about something, if you're talking about, running, if that's a particular goal, set a goal to crush a 5K. Right, make that goal small, and then or set something a month to do, and before you know it, you've hit your end result. Same with the weight loss goal. So if your total weight loss goal is like, I just need to drop 50 pounds. 50 pounds is a lot of weight. It's doable, but it's a lot of weight to look at as here's my starting and here's my end goal. And you put them like this, like this is what I weigh, this is what I want to weigh, and there's nothing in the middle here, right? So it's daunting. It's like, I'll never do that unless you slice 50 pounds off of me, and I don't have the money to do that. And I'm not sure that that's the best way to do it. So set something in between here, right? So it's January, so you've got, it's cold now. Right. So what do you do? Are you an outdoor person? That means classes, right? So you're gonna have to do something with classes. You're joining a gym or you're taking classes. As it starts to get warmer, the goals change, right? If I can be, specific with Orange Theory, the way it's high intensity interval training. So when we're on the treadmill doing something, it's a 60-minute class. 30 minutes of that on the treadmill, your goal shouldn't be, I just want to finish this class today. Your goal should be, in the next 3 minutes of work, that's what your focus is. Not the 60-minute of class, not even the 30 minutes that you're spending on the treadmill. The next 3 minutes of work that you have to do are going to be the best 3 minutes of work that you're going to do.
That's key. Don't look for the door, look for the mini goal.
Right? Yeah. So in the end of 3 minutes, you have some recovery. Your next 2 minutes of work, this is what I'd like you to do. The next 2 minutes of work are going to be the best 2 minutes of work. Yeah. Before you know it, you're off the treadmill onto the next thing. Holy moly, success. Right? And then you're on the floor doing the same thing. So it's not about, I just need to make it through this class today. And you're like, man, I got halfway through and I needed to leave or throw up or whatever I needed to do. And then it's like I can't go back because it's awful. It's too hard for me to do. Small goals. Yeah. And I do the same thing for myself. Like that's not, I just need to get a run in, right? I can't run a half marathon. I need to get 5 miles in today. That's all I want to do is get 5 miles in.
Yeah, those small goals really do help, and they keep you on track because once you achieve the small goal, and it's like, that was easy.
I can do this.
Let me make a tiny bit bigger goal.
Exactly.
I went from 2 minutes to 2:10.
Exactly.
I went from 1 mile to 1.1.
Yep, exactly.
And then before you know it, so many increments of increasing everything. It's like you've already made it past 5K or all the way. You're halfway to the marathon.
Right, and it makes so much. It makes so much more sense, right? The same thing with diet, and
it's sustainable.
It is. And with, not being a nutritionist, but being in the industry and having that education, it's the same thing. When someone says, I need to lose 20 pounds, I work out with you, right? I work out, but I still want to lose, I want to lose 10 pounds. And I know, I work out, I take classes, I'm training with you, I do this and that. I just can't lose that last 10 pounds. Well, what are you doing? How about picking, instead of focusing on, I need to lose that 10 pounds, I need to do that, pick one thing. And I've said this for many years. Just change one thing this week. Change one thing. Don't eat after 7:30, if that's what it is. Or take wine out, whatever it is. Just one thing. Not forever, just for 2 weeks, right? Once you prove to yourself that you can do that, boom, take something else out. Maybe put that back in, take something else out. So you have very small goals that aren't, you're not on the scale. My goal for this week is to just not have any sugar. Or not have that donut at 3 o'clock that I've been having every day for the past 5 years.
Yeah, some people have that kind of approach, which is like small goal for like 2 weeks, and then it's okay if you go back, but you know that you've done it.
Right.
Other people, myself included, have a switch.
Yeah.
I can turn it off.
Yep.
and turn it on whenever I want.
Yeah.
So I can say, no, I'm not gonna, like, I don't wanna watch TV for a year.
Right.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I have the ability to do that. Not everybody does. So your own ability to make goals and set them for yourself, you have to look back a little bit if you've never done it before. But if you haven't, small goals, this is a fantastic approach. I couldn't agree more. So what are some common slipping points that get people off track, and how do you avoid them?
The goals.
The goals.
The goals. You know, I think the goals are too big. And the minute that, and there's some people, like you were talking, I can do the same thing with you. Like there's just some things that you know, I'm not going to have sugar. I'm not going to have candy anymore. Yeah. I mean, I love chewy candy. Mike and Ike's hot tamales. I'm like, not going to have it.
Noted.
And I won't.
I'll write that down.
Right? And I won't.
To Melinda, Mike, and Ike.
They come in 5-pound bags at Costco. You know, I can do that, or I can say, you know, I'm not going to have any wine during the week, but I'll have on the weekends. Right. And it's not, you know, I don't know where I got that, but I think I've been able to do that switch. But then I tell myself, but I also can. It's not that, you know, I'm not denying myself that, but I'm choosing, you know, and I know I've chosen not to do that because I have a reason to do that. People that set those big goals for themselves, or that they're really tough on themselves and don't give themselves any kind of gratification, they're like, I can't do this. I can't do it. You know, I've had people join the studio, join gyms for whatever reason. They take a class and they get sore, right? They go full throttle, all out for 1 week, right? And it's just like, I am here every day. And you saw it at the I am here every day. I'm going to take a strength class, and then I'm going to go run on the treadmill. If I fall off the treadmill and I'm bleeding, that's okay because I have a goal. You know, and then they come back the next day and it's like, okay, I'm just going to walk on the treadmill today, but I'm here. You know, they come back the next day and I'm like, I'm going to try spin. They're not going to walk for 2 days because what happened? I think something's wrong with me. I took a spin class. No, you're not. It's just the regular soreness from that day 4. You know, it's like, I'm going to go back to that strength class again. You know, and then, oh my God, I don't know what I've done to myself. I think I need to walk. I've hurt something. I need to go to I've got an appointment with the doctor, and you know, and it's just onset muscle soreness, right? And they're like, I actually hurt myself, and I was out for a month. I mean, you know, that kind of, and they're like, I'm out. Where have you been, Justin? Well, you know, I took that class, and I think I maybe lifted too heavy, and I pulled a muscle, and so I either self-diagnosed or went to the doctor, and I'm out for a month. And you know, then it's like, I don't see you for 2 months. Well, you know, actually, when I was out, I actually gained another 5 pounds because, you know, I couldn't work out. That's and I said, screw it. So I'm just going to, So I think to stick with your goal, give yourself something. If you're serious about this, give yourself something at the end that you have to meet, right? So, you know, for me, it's easy to pick a race, right? For me, for my personality, for my type, because I'm like, if I'm not trained for that race and I pay for that race, I'm going to be in trouble, right? I'm not going to back out, and I'm not going to waste my money. You know, I'm not going to lose that money. I have paid for that race. I know I have that race in 6 weeks. Yeah.
And I think nowadays it's using goals and whatnot to help you achieve your new level and whatnot, and try new things are so much easier because of wearable devices like this technology, like Fitbit and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I mean, you can design your goals. It tracks everything, and it's like, wow, did I surpass this? Did I meet this?
Right.
And you can do it in increments, or maybe. Yeah. So
But you see people all the time like running in place, like I have to get those steps in, right? And it cracks me up, and I'm like, good on you for doing it. You know, like I got to run up the steps up and down because I don't have it. And it's like you said, it's a tangible goal, right? So I have to hit this. I have to hit this goal, and I just think that give yourself something that you're working for. I had a client once that said, I wanted to get into this dress. I have this outfit, I want to wear this outfit, and I won't wear it unless it feels right. So I said, that's what our goal is. So we hit that. That was level 1 goal. And then she had these other dresses that she wanted to get into, and that's how she measured her progress, and that's how she knew she was attaining her goals. It's different for everybody. But if you have something that you see the end of that, I have to get to the end of that. You know, I need to wear that. I need to be able to compete in that. I need to be able to go back and have my cholesterol numbers down. You know?
Yeah. Everyone's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Be a little personal here. Okay? Tell us one story that no one has heard before about a time where your life changed and helped shaped the Melinda today?
Mm.
Something that you know a lot of people, so try to tell them that people haven't heard before.
I'm not sure. It might have been, I guess, probably smack in the middle of my adult life when I had taken kind of a step back. When I was married and lived on the Eastern Shore, and I still kind of taught again, but got away from it just because of the lifestyle and where I was at that time in my life. So there was a short period that I was not in the field. I mean, a very short period. I could see it, but I wasn't in it. And I think that was a time where I think all around I could sense that it played a big part in me not being happy. On different things, on different levels, and I knew that was, things had to change, and that was not a on that level, probably 100% a good time in life, and that was when I knew again it wasn't just something that I had to do that fitness wasn't just something that was a job for me, and that it needed to be a part of my life. So things changed. But that was probably something that took me over a hump where it wasn't just about teaching anymore, but it was going to be about coaching. And also, that's when I decided that I wanted to spend more time training trainers, training the instructors. I see. So it wasn't just, I knew I got a lot of joy out of teaching group fitness, personal training, but I think I got more joy out of training other people to come into the field. Yeah, I think that was a big turning point for me, and I'm not sure how, but it happened sometime when I was down there, and because it was the studio that I had gotten back into, the gym I got back into, didn't have any instructors, zero. It was me, and it was a box gym, and so we kind of built it from scratch, and that's when I think I felt that was something that I enjoyed doing. So I think you remember I had done a lot of training for the one company that we worked for, and I was really, really excited and really happy to do stuff like that. Same thing. So I think if anything were to change in this path of mine, it would be to, and I guess it's the same old thing: when you can't do, you teach. I don't know. I can't believe I just fell into that one. I can't believe I just walked into that one myself.
Oh! You can't do, you teach.
Except that what I'm teaching is you got to do. So
good point. All right, so you made the way around on that. All right, my last question for you. Very simple. What gets you out of bed every day, aside from Teddy? Leave the dog alone.
I have a cat too that cries when he wants to be fed. I don't understand him. He eats like a horse. I think it's my exercise. It's my exercise, and it's. I think where I am right now, I have a coach that I'm working with, which I think is really cool, because everyone says, but you motivate me, so why do you need motivation? It's so not true. I need motivation. I think it's not. Yeah, it's like I give so much when I know that people are relying on me for their motivation and exercise, or for them to get through the next hour or whatever it is, 30 minutes of time, and I truly love it. And I don't notice when I'm having an off day, like if someone says, "Are you okay? You look tired." I'm like, maybe I am tired, but it doesn't, when you go into a class, you're kind of wow, I thought you were really pissed a minute ago. I think you guys used to even say that, like, you were in the back, like, I was in the back, like, grumpy, and then you teach a class, it's like, wow. I thought a minute ago, you were ready to, like, fork stab people in the back, and now you're great. But I think, for me, it's like, I get up and this is my time, and I'm going to go, and I've got my own goals, I've got my own workouts, and when I get up and I do something, it's like, really cool. And I still do, even at this point, if I skip and I've got, people saying it's okay to like take a rest day or take a skip day, or just if you're not feeling it, listen to your body. But I still, it's kind of like, I should have got up and done that. I should be, it's like 20 below and you're freezing, and it's like, I should go to the pool today. Like, it's freezing outside. No one's going to the pool today. I'm like, oh, please tell me Arlington County's closed their pools. Please tell me they've closed their pools. It's like they closed their pools. Yeah, I don't have to swim. I'll do something later.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, but I do. I think it's my workout because it's something that I know I can control for to reach my goal. So it makes me feel really good when I do that. And Teddy. And Teddy.
So to wrap it up, let's see. We have mini goals. We have get a dog.
Yes.
We have what else do we have? Eat anything you want. This is clear fitness advice. When you can't do, teach.
Let's see what else.
These are all positive, motivating
I do.
bullet points. No. So if you have any questions, please send them. Just put them in the feed down below. Add a comment to this live feed. It'll be on YouTube. We'll have a podcast out for you. Send the comments there. Melinda will see them. If you have any questions, she can answer them directly. Even if you tune in late, that's fine. She'll be around. She's at Orange Theory Fitness in
Chantilly, Fairfax.
Out by Fair Oaks Mall, right?
Correct. Yes.
So you can find her there. You want a group exercise person on the East Coast especially, this is the person you go see. So you can find her, Melinda Moore. Thank you so much for being here, Melinda. It's fantastic to see you again.
It's great to hang out with you.
We need to keep in touch more.
Yeah, we do.
So thanks everybody.
Thanks everybody.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And we're out!
That was fun.
That was
good.
You turn this off so we're not